Kai!
Her voice comes out as barely a whisper.
That's right,
he says, smirking smugly at the phone.
You know, I thought I'd have to pickpocket this out of you when nobody was looking. I wasn't expecting you to just hand it to me. And it's open, too. How nice of you.
What are you... Kai grabs Charlotte's jaw.
Don't worry about it.
Kai opens the photo app on Charlotte's phone and taps on videos. He scrolls down until he finds what he's looking for, looking at the timestamp for confirmation.
Yeah, that's it.
Kai turns the phone screen to Charlotte. Her eyes widen even more to the point where it feels they're about to pop out of her skull.
I noticed you were running out of storage space. Figured I'd help free up some memory.
Charlotte tries to move her arm to slap the phone out of Kai's hands, but her arm stays limp by her side. Kai clicks on the video and deletes it off the phone.
There, it should run much more smoothly.
Charlotte lets out a whimper.
Oh, don't fret. I'll give it back. Though I'll admit, I am a little curious to see what else you have on here.
Kai taps on photos and scrolls through, seeing nothing of apparent value. He then changes the settings to sort by oldest and scrolls down until he sees something that catches his eye. He then clicks on the photo. From 4 years ago. Kai looks at the photo in shock. It's him and Charlotte taking a selfie by the entrance of their old middle school.
It must have been during our school's festival going off in the background,
he thought to himself. Kai examines the photo further, noticing the heart in the bottom left corner.
She favorited it.
He stares at the photo for a minute before turning the phone off and lazily tossing it to the side against the lockers.
Ah, that was touching. I guess you were telling the truth after all, huh, Webb?
He says as she lightly shakes her jaw, her face red and wet with tears as she hopelessly stares back at him.
Maybe I forgot you even had that particular photo, but I guess it was nice that I meant something else other than being some heartless bastard for once. For a time, at least.
Kai says, his voice shaking.
Still, it didn't save you. Whatever residual feelings I had for you are gone. This all proves it. I was able to put those aside to do what needed to be done.
Charlotte lets out another whimper, tears are running down her cheek at full speed.
There, it's okay. You'll be fine. Well, not that you'll remember any of this to begin with, probably for the best.
Charlotte tries to say something back to Kai, but her mouth feels like it had been sewn shut.
Any second now, the full weight will hit you, and your mind will shatter back into a million pieces. You'll be right back where you started, and most importantly, out of my way.
Kai squeezes Charlotte's jaw. He was half expecting some kind of audible reaction from her, but Charlotte continues to stare at him as tears continue to run down her face.
Like you told me yesterday, this is all your fault, Charlotte. You brought this on yourself, and quite frankly, I don't feel the least bit sorry for you.
Charlotte lets out a shaky breath as the world around her begins to be engulfed in haze.
Your stubbornness cost you your reputation and what's left of your mind. There's nothing left for you now. You'll be a shell, a stupid, worthless shell. You'll have no personality, no memory, nothing of anything and anybody. And for what you did to me, that's not even the least of what you deserve.
He says, finally releasing Charlotte's jaw. She face plants into the floor. She struggles to prop herself up, craning her neck up at Kai as he continues to stare down at her.
This is the end for us, Charlotte. Your case is closed.
A fresh wave of tears overflows onto Charlotte's face. She didn't know it was humanly possible to have so many tears.
Now everyone will see you for what you are. A hypocritical, shameless religious bigot. But you know the beauty of it all?
He says as he gently caresses her cheek, wiping away a tear that had freshly stained her face.
Nobody will come to help you this time.
Charlotte slowly turns her head away and shuts her eyes, a low-pitched squeal exhaling from her mouth.
Look at me,
he says as he forcibly grabs her cheek and makes her face him.
Look at me while your world burns to ash. Look at me.
Charlotte shuts her eyes once more.
No.
She barely manages to force out.
Then you truly are worthless if you can't do something so simple. I hope you enjoy life as a vegetable. No.
She begins to pant widely, her heart beating so fast that it could jump out of her chest at any second. Still don't know what they mean by widely. Sweat is pouring down her face like she was being rained on, her sweat crisscrossing with her tears as they make their way down onto the floor. Her entire body feels like it's on fire, waiting to ignite into a blaze at any second. It feels like her life is draining out of her body with every passing second. Her brain melts as her lungs crumple. It hurts her to even breathe. She manages a pained groan, trying to crawl after Kai. Charlotte desperately tries to stand herself up, standing one leg up before she sinks back to her knees.
No, no, no.
Charlotte looks around frantically, hearing unintelligible whispers coming from all directions. She can't even tell who's talking. She forces out her body back into the direction of where Kai was walking, but she can't even tell if he's still there.
He did this to me. This was his doing. He hurt me. He destroyed me. He destroyed my image. Now everyone will think that I'm awful.
Charlotte feels whatever is left of her heart explode inside her chest.
God, please help. Where are you? Is this my punishment? Is this how I atone for my sins? Because I hurt Kai so long ago. Do I deserve to be hurt in this way? Answer me!
She yells inside her mind.
No! No!
Drained of energy, Charlotte promptly falls onto her back as her hands weightlessly collapse on top of her stomach. A crowd of students circle around her, gawking at her sorry state.
Is no one going to help me? Am I finally paying my restitution?
Charlotte's world dims as she feels something cold yet familiar form around her.
This feeling of emptiness, of time passing by in a flash. Not again. I thought I was over this.
Out of the corners of her eyes, she sees several dark shadow-like hands rise up from what looks to be a puddle that has formed around her. Charlotte's heart quickens like a speeding train as an all-too-familiar sense of dread creeps over her. She can't move anything as body lays limp on her back. She can't hear or smell. She can't even taste her own teardrops that have worked their way down to her lips.
No. I thought I was past this. They told me I was better now. All my efforts to overcome this were for nothing.
A fresh wave of tears make their way out of Charlotte's eyes as she sobs out in grief. Despite her best efforts to try to stop herself, the urge to keep on sobbing proves to be irresistible. Overcome with grief and despair, Charlotte lets out one final screeching cry.
No!
Her scream rings throughout the corridor as the hands grab onto her. Slowly they begin to drag her down into the puddle, back into that place she had worked so hard to crawl out of. As she sinks, Charlotte's consciousness flickers like a dying light as her throat gives out from screaming. Her eyes ring loudly as her vision is a mix of tears and dark haze. Her body is weightless as she sinks further into oblivion. As she sees total darkness creeping in from the corner of her eyes, Charlotte's memories begin to play out in front of her all at once. All her happy moments with friends and family, her life-altering experiences, every moment of happiness, pride, fear, shame, and regret, all laid out to bear in front of her very eyes. As her memories slowly turn to static, her thoughts linger to the present.
Is going back to that place worth it? Will this sacrifice change anything? Perhaps someone will pick up where I left off, finish what I could not. The truth will come out. It never stays buried forever. Shiro, I'm sorry that I couldn't make good on my promise. I'll do better next time. For everyone's sake.
As Charlotte finishes her thought, she is fully submerged into the darkness. Her tears stop flowing as her sense of dread, regret, and disappointment are suddenly lifted from her consciousness. Then her mind went blank. I exit the classroom as the bell for my lunch period rings. I've been looking forward to it all period. It'll be my first time sitting with Sam underneath the cherry blossom tree. Granted, I've had a couple lunches with her before, but for whatever reason it almost feels like this is a special occasion, even though it's really not. I mean, so what if we're changing up the scenery a bit? It's not like this is some kind of date. Is it? Gah, stop reading too much into things. I shake the thought off as I head to my locker and grab my lunchbox. I head down the stairwell. Once I open the doors, there's a large crowd of students huddled by the wall next to the door. The hell is this about? I push my way through the crowd to get past them. Then that's the point I begin to realize something's wrong. A few of my classmates do a double take with their eyes, looking at me as if I was some wanted felon. Then they scurry back. What the? Then I start getting heckled at. Two girls who I've never seen before approach me.
Dude, not cool. You're such a pig, a creep. Man, why'd you do that? What the hell?
What the hell? The crowd backs up, leaving me standing in the middle of the hallway alone. A few of the students have even whipped their phones out, aiming their cameras at me. I look around the corridor in a daze. What's going on here? Suddenly, someone emerges from the crowd. Chester? Dude, he says, shaking his head. What's wrong? Why is everyone giving me weird looks? Do you have any idea what you did? Evidently not. Chester sighs as he grabs my arm and drags me to where everyone was standing. He practically throws me against the wall. I'm able to throw my hands up to break my fall just in time.
Ah! Then what the fuck is that?
He says, pointing to something at the wall. I look at what he's pointing at. Oh, my God. I feel the blood drain out of me as my veins run cold with ice. What Chester was pointing to was a picture of a girl in the middle of putting on a shirt. Jesus! I stumble back in horror. I then see that there's text under the photo. It reads, "Damn, she'd quench my thirst." There's a signature beneath the text. No! No fucking way! I didn't sign that!
Yeah, explain that!
I didn't fucking do this!
Bullshit! That's your fucking signature, ain't it?
Why the fuck would I sign that? Not only do I barely know who she is, but I'm not even attracted to her! Even if I did take that picture, why the hell would I go out of my way to sign it?
You disgust me, man. You know, here I took you for a half-decent guy. You were a decent table mate at Harris. You weren't annoying. But this is too far, man. I'm going to bring you in.
Whoa. Bring me in where exactly?
Principal's office or student council. I haven't made up my mind yet. I'll decide on the way. Let's go.
He moves to grab my arm, but I quickly swat his hand away. Don't touch me.
Yeah, that'd probably turn your creeper ass on. I guess I'll knock your lights out first.
He tries to grab me again, this time latching onto one of my arms. He moves to grab my other arm with his hand, but I'm able to block it, locking arms with him.
Let's get him!
A few students behind Chester move in to intervene. I'm able to muster up my strength and push Chester off me into the students running behind him. They all collapse onto the ground in a mangled pile. I bolt for the nearest door that leads outside, pushing past anyone in my way. Michael Harrington, please report to the office. I accidentally run into a girl's shoulder, making her drop her books.
Ouch! Hey, watch it!
Sorry! I run past the two girls.
People really need to stop running in the halls,
Yuri remarks as she bends down to help Natsuki pick up her books. Michael Harrington, please report to the office. Michael Harrington.
So, I finished watching Attack on Titan Junior High the other day. Oh yeah? How'd you like it? It was cute. I loved Livy and Mikasa's chibis. They were so adorable. It's good that they stayed true to
The girls are stopped in their tracks by a large crowd cluttered around the vending machines.
Geez, does everyone have to be getting drinks now? Apparently so.
The girls try pushing their way through the crowd until they start getting catcalled.
Damn, what a fine piece of ass right here.
Please step on me, Mommy. You guys are such hoes. I always knew you'd do something like this.
We're up to student 7 at this point. Some of the students back away from Kayla and Ruby, leaving them standing in the middle of the hallway. Both girls exchanged a bewildered look at each other before staring back at the crowd.
What's up? I know I'm hot. It's fine to stare.
Kayla rolls her eyes and elbows Ruby in the side, which prompts a soft cry of pain from her.
Oh, they're even acting like a married couple. So cute.
The snarky comment elicits a few laughs from the crowd.
I mean, what's it to you?
The student sighs as she steps out of the way, revealing a photo on the vending machine.
The fuck is that?
Kayla and Ruby approach the vending machine. Ruby removes the photo for a closer look. It's a picture of them from earlier in the gym locker room, from when Ruby was consoling Kayla. Without context, they look intimate, with Kayla blushing madly as Ruby is only mere inches from her face, smiling. Too easy, only one. As they look on at the photo in horror, another student comes up behind them, laughing hysterically.
Man, you guys are not having a good day.
Ruby spins around.
Did you fucking take this?
No, I didn't take it. I was just saying.
Before he gets the chance to finish, Kayla forms a fist and slugs the student in the face. The student spun around and hit his face on the vending machine, sliding down onto the floor.
Anyone else wanna be a smartass? Wanna be smartass?
She shrieks at the crowd. There's no response, with many of the students backing up and a few even opting to walk away. Ruby takes another look at the photo, reading it aloud.
Damn, goth bitches are so hot. It sucks that they're lesbians or I would have asked for a threesome. Signed by Michael Harrington. What?
Kayla rips the picture out of Ruby's hands and examines the photo for herself. She looks down at the caption beneath the photo. It can't be. Kayla lets the photo flutter out of her hand. Ruby stands still as her and Kayla stare at each other in shock. Why does anyone fall for this stuff?
There's no way. He wouldn't. I guess he's that kind of guy after all.
Ruby scoffs as the crowd begins to disperse.
Why would he do this? We were nothing but nice to him. That backstabbing piece of shit. We're going to fucking kill him. But before we do, I want to hear the excuse leave that traitor's lips. Fuck going to class. He has his next lunch. Let's find him.
Kayla scoops up the picture as she joins Ruby in furiously storming out into the hallway, shoving aside anyone standing in their way. Michael runs behind a bush and crouches down out of sight, panting heavily. He hears the sound of a few students running past him, angrily shouting his name. Once they pass, he sinks to his knees in exhaustion. What the fuck is going on? Why am I being hunted? I grab my forehead as I try to get a handle on the situation. From how I understand it, someone took these pictures of this girl and my signature is on it. It looked like my handwriting, too. None of this makes sense. I didn't write any of that, much less take that damn picture. I lean back against the bush, racking my brain for a solution. What do I do? What I do? I frantically ask myself. It's hard to think straight knowing there's a literal search party gunning for my ass. I take out my phone and scroll to my contacts. Who the hell am I even going to call? Fuck it. I click on the first name that comes to mind. The phone rings for a few moments before it connects.
Michael.
Sam, it's me. Listen, I'm in trouble.
Why? What's going on?
I don't know. I'm so confused. Meet me by the old oak tree. ASAP. Come on, or come alone.
Okay. I'll be there as soon as I can.
Okay. Thank you. I hang up the call and try to find the most discreet route I can take to the other side of campus.
Where is he, Crowley?
Kayla says, grabbing tightly onto Chester's shirt collar.
I don't know. I lost track of him. I think he bailed.
Phenomenal.
Kayla releases Chester as he slumps to the floor, weightless. In a frenzy, Chester scrambles and runs away from Kayla.
Now we'll never find him,
she says as she smacks her forehead.
Well, there's one solution. And that is, Shiro knows where he lives, right? We ask him for his address, we'll show up to his place with his, and then we'll kick his ass. Yeah, and then we'll get arrested. No, he'll get arrested for taking our picture without our consent.
Ruby lets out a frustrated groan.
Screw it, let's just report him and let the school deal with him. Like they'll do a fucking thing.
Kayla, Ruby. Both girls turn around.
Shiro.
Heard my name. Figured I'd drop by and say hello.
The three of them stand there in complete silence. Eventually, Shiro lets out a sigh.
What's going on? I heard you guys yelling.
Take a look at this.
She walks up to Shiro and shoves the picture into him.
Easy. I still got bruises there.
Shiro takes a look at the photo. He stares back up at Kayla and Ruby, who look like they're on the verge of tears, and then back down at the picture.
I don't believe it. There's just no way.
There is. He stabbed us all in the back, Shiro. First the club, now us. Well, what did we ever do to him?
Kayla asks, her voice quivering. Shiro continues to stare at the photo and studies the caption with the signature. Shiro lets out a pained sigh.
I don't think Michael did this.
Bullshit. He did. That's his handwriting, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but...
Why are you even defending him? What the hell is wrong with you?
Let me explain.
No, I don't want to hear any more explanations from you, Robillard.
Kayla yells as she walks up to Shiro, grabbing him by the collar.
You want to make it up to lying to me and Ruby for a year? Tell us where this punk-ass lives, so I can skin him alive.
Kayla, you gotta calm down. Please.
Kayla finally breaks. She releases her grip on Shiro's collar and begins to sob. Shiro slowly embraces Kayla as he gently pats her on the back.
It's okay. It's going to be okay.
After a few minutes, Kayla finally calms down.
All right. Clearly you know something we don't, so please tell us this time.
Okay. I don't think Michael did this. We all remember last year when this shit happened to me, don't we? It looks to me that the same thing is happening to Michael.
Kayla and Ruby somberly nod their heads.
I don't have the highest opinion of the guy, but he wouldn't do this. I know he wouldn't.
Just like how you thought he was a good member for the anime club. Shiro, you haven't been the best judge of his character.
I get that, and you guys have every right to be suspicious of him. But innocent until proven guilty, okay? Can we at least try that?
If he confesses, I want him dead.
And he deserved nothing less. How do you think I felt when he said he was leaving the club, huh? Did you guys take into account how I felt about that whole situation? I felt like absolute garbage, and I blamed myself for it.
Shiro says as his voice breaks down.
But I want to believe he didn't do this. All I'm saying is, let's calmly confront him about it, and if he's clean, let's try to help him.
If he's being slandered like I was, I don't want that happening to him. He doesn't deserve it, in spite of everything. But if he is responsible, I'll help you guys put him down, I swear it.
Another round of silence falls over the trio.
Okay. If you want to try it that way, fine. I don't have a better idea. Where is he?
I don't know. He has his lunch period, and I was about to grab my food, but I guess that's not happening now. If I had to guess, he's probably with Sam.
You mean that quiet girl who was never here?
Yeah, her. I think I might have an idea of where he is. If we hurry, we might be able to catch him before the teachers do.
All right, we'll follow you.
Shiro jogs out of the school with Kayla and Ruby closely following behind him.